it's Evelyn and thanks for stopping by my channel. Today's video is going to be a tutorial on how to re-wig your American Girl doll. First, we'll start by taking the wig off of my Truly Me 119 doll and putting that wig on my daughter's doll so I can show you how to glue a wig down. Next, I'll show you how to easily put on a non-American Girl brand wig that has a stretch cap. The end of the video will feature a wig try on with Truly Me 119 so you can see that doll with all types of hair colors and types. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before we can begin, we've got to grab some supplies, so here's what you'll need. At the bare minimum, you're going to need a metal spoon or maybe a fork, something that you can use to pry the wig cap off. You'll also need some non-acetone nail polish remover to help melt some of the glue, and something to apply it to your doll's hairline, so that might be a Q-tip or an eyedropper. For my method, you're going to need a way to get some boiling water to fill the head and melt the glue. So you could have a stovetop pot or an electric kettle or even just some water in your microwave. You'll also need something to hold the head. I personally use a measuring cup for this. I would also recommend grabbing some towels to be able to wipe off any water and to protect your doll's hair. If you'd like to glue on your doll's new wig, I would recommend using Aleene's Tacky Glue. There is a more permanent glue that you can use. It's called E6000, but it's some strong stuff, and I wouldn't recommend it for most cases. And I'll go into a little bit more detail on that later. Most importantly, you are going to need some brute force for all of this. So get those muscles ready because you're going to be yanking on this wig. And I mean pulling, yanking, using all of your strength. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. With my supplies gathered and my doll's head off, I'm going to go ahead and line my measuring cup with a towel and place my doll's head in it upside down. When I did this, I actually noticed that my doll had a ton of stuffing in her head, which was really weird and I wasn't expecting it. But I guess just go ahead and look in there and make sure there's not going to be any stuffing that you're going to melt into your doll's head when you put boiling water in there. Now I'm going to take a second towel and just go ahead and cover up the wig so I don't get any boiling water on the wig itself. I'll pour some boiling water up to about eye level. This isn't for an eye swap, so we don't need the whole head to be full and squishy. We really just want to get the boiling water in there to start melting that glue and making it easier for us to pry the wig off of the doll's head. So go ahead and set a timer for 3 minutes and get the boiling water out of your doll's head. With her head nice and squishy, I'm going to go ahead and take my metal spoon and my fingers and just kind of look for points of vulnerability in the wig cap. So I see one here. I'm going to go ahead and try to take my spoon and get it in between the wig and the vinyl. So I'm pretty sure I've found my spot here, and I'm going to attempt to get my spoon through without using nail polish remover. I usually do have to use the nail polish remover though, but just for the sake of this video, I wanted to try. I have seen people be able to successfully do it. So as you can see, I'm just kind of poking my finger around the doll's head. Not really able to get it without the nail polish remover, so I'm just going to take a little bit of non-acetone nail polish remover. Guys, acetone will melt your doll's hair. I have done this before on accident. I have used actual acetone and melted the hair. Oh my gosh, it ruined the wig. So don't make the same mistake I did. Non-acetone though is perfectly fine and it is not going to melt the hair. The only thing that I would caution you against is getting any in the doll's eyes. So just be careful of that. But otherwise, go ahead and take your dropper or your Q-tip or whatever you have to apply that nail polish remover to your doll's hairline. Now this is going to assist with getting that glue melted so you can sneak your way in there in between the doll's vinyl and the wig cap. That's what we're going for here. We need to get up inside underneath there so we can get that spoon in and start prying the wig off. So I'm taking that metal spoon again and I'm going at that point where I see there's a little bit of vulnerability. There's a little spot right here and it is going to allow me to be able to get something in between. So you have to keep in mind that around the rim of the doll's head, so the hairline, that's where a lot of the glue is. So that's why we're kind of trying to get through, melt that glue so we can get our fingers or our spoon through to get the rest of the wig off. So now I have found that spot, and you can see that I have melted that glue. I'm going to stick a little bit of extra nail polish remover into that spot, so kind of underneath the wig itself here, to try to melt even more of that glue so I can take my spoon and shove it in there. Just got to keep working with it. And as you can see now, I have gotten the spoon through. I have my point of entry into this wig cap. And at this point, I begin to stick my fingers into that gap between the wig cap and the head and pull on the wig to try to get the glue loose and pry the wig off of the doll's head. Now, as you're doing this, you will start to notice there are some hairs that will be stuck to the glue. So all you need to do here is to just take some scissors, being sure not to accidentally poke the vinyl on the doll's head. So just take some scissors and carefully snip right there. That's totally fine and normal. And honestly, I probably could have avoided some of this had I put that non-acetone nail polish remover on the entire hairline. But my method is just kind of using brute force. And once you get in there and get started, you'll notice that kind of the midsection of the wig cap pulls off pretty easily. Like I mentioned before, most of the glue is on that hairline. It's on the edges of the wig cap. So there's not a ton of glue holding it in place. You can kind of see there's some at the top, but I'm able to just really get a good grip on that wig cap and yank this off. This front part is giving me a little bit of trouble, and at that point what I could have done is add a little bit more nail polish remover, but I didn't. I just kind of try to use it sparingly. I don't really know why. Maybe I'm a little stubborn, but yep, I just pull it off and use my muscles there. So here she is. You can see we've still got a strand of hair here and a little bit of the wig cap. That's perfectly okay and normal. You're just going to need to kind of clean it up a little bit, but the new wig is really going to cover this. So if you still have little pieces of the wig cap and little pieces of hair there, that's okay. So with that wig removed, I'm going to go ahead and get the doll's head back on so I can get her new wig on. And as far as that replacement wig goes, you're going to want either an American Girl wig, so you might get that off of an existing doll in your collection. Maybe you want to swap the wigs between two of your dolls, or you can go onto eBay or Mercari and purchase a wig that somebody else has taken off of their doll. The other option would be to go onto Etsy or Amazon and find a seller that sells 18-inch doll wigs. Now, these are almost always going to have the 10 to 11-inch wig caps, but you're going to always want to check out the description and make sure that the wig is going to work for your doll before you purchase it. So to get this wig on my doll, I am going to take the front and I'm going to position it slightly more forward on the forehead than I'm going to want it. Holding that firmly, I'm going to also grip the back of the wig cap and pull that back over the back of the head. After I do that, I can make any adjustments as needed. So another way to do this would be to place the wig down on a table with the wig cap facing up and set the doll's head in, holding the head down firmly. Pull the wig cap over the front of the head. So again, you kind of stick it down so that the base of the wig cap is aligned with the back of the head, and pressing down firmly, pull the wig cap over the front of the head. You can also do this the reverse way. So again, sticking the wig down, cap up, and just make sure that you don't have, a bunch of hairs in that wig cap first. And then take the doll and stick their head down into the wig cap, pressing firmly on the front of that wig cap and then gripping the back of the wig cap and pulling it over the back of the head. So take that back of the wig cap and stretch and pull over the back of the head using a firm grip and bracing that head against the table for extra support. After getting the wig on, go ahead and make any adjustments that you need to. Now, this is a more of a stretch cap wig, and unlike an American Girl wig, it's not going to fall off easily when you shake the doll or just kind of generally are moving the doll's head around. Now, it will come off if you pull on it, and that's okay. For this doll, I want her to be a wig model for me. I actually take pictures for Zazu dolls, and I need to be able to take wigs on and off so that way I can take pictures of my dolls in all kinds of wigs. So for that purpose, I do not need to glue this wig down. But let me go ahead and show you how to do it in case you want this wig to be more of a permanent addition to your doll. So now I'm going to be putting this Truly Me 119 wig on my daughter's doll. Now, you can actually keep the hair up in a ponytail, and that might make it easier for you, but I took the ponytail out just so I could make sure there wasn't a ton of extra hair, fall out from re-wigging her. So the glue that I use is Tacky Glue, and I actually put a question box out on my Instagram asking everybody what their questions were about the re-wigging process. And overwhelmingly, people were not sure what glue to use. And those who did know what glue to use didn't know how much. I always like to err on the side of caution, so I'm going to be using Tacky Glue. This is Aleene's Tacky Glue, and it's my absolute favorite because it keeps the wig on very well, but it's not super permanent, so you can actually pull the wig back off without damaging the doll's vinyl. So Aleene's Tacky Glue is the way to go for me personally. There are stronger glues out there, such as E6000, and that will keep the wig on your doll permanently. But if you ever decide to take it off, that's probably going to damage both the wig and your doll's vinyl. And not only that, but that stuff is very strong. So I just would honestly caution you against it. I don't think that any of us need to use industrial, strength glue to get a doll wig on. So just something to keep in mind. I use Tacky Glue with my daughter's dolls, and worst case scenario, she rips it off. I just put more glue back on. So to get this wig glued on, I'm going to turn the wig inside out so that the wig cap is pushed out. And now I'm going to put a spiral of glue directly on the doll's head. That's my preferred way, but I know some people like to put it in the wig itself. I just find that it tends to get a little bit messier that way. I do, however, sometimes put a little bit on kind of the wig cap toward the front of the head, and that's what I'm doing here today. With the glue on, I line the middle of the wig cap and the doll's head, and I grip and pull the wig over the doll's hair, starting with toward the front of the hairline, and I'm going to go ahead and take the back and pull it over the back of the head. Now, if you do get glue on the hair, that's okay. You can remove it with warm water or non-acetone nail polish remover, but after I get that glue down, I am going to make some adjustments, and then I'm going to add a little bit more glue. Get that placement nailed down, and once you have that position locked in place, take some more Tacky Glue and pull up on the wig cap toward the hairline, and put a little bit of glue in between the head and the wig cap. You're only going to want to put a little bit because as you push that down, the glue is going to squish, and you just don't want a bunch of glue squishing out and getting all over the hair. And I'm just going to continue adding more glue along the doll's hairline, being careful not to add so much glue that it squishes out. As I do so, I'm going to press firmly and, of course, give the doll another good look over before you leave the glue to dry. So how strong is this tacky glue anyway? Well, it is pretty strong and it does keep your doll's wig on for play and for hairstyling, but it does still come off pretty easily if you want it to. So this is my doll, Jade. She's a custom Truly Me 37, and I have very little glue on this wig because I like to switch things up with her, but I also find that this is the wig that I prefer her in the most. So as you can see, I'm shaking her around and kind of tugging at it, and the glue is holding pretty well. But if I go to the back where I have less glue, I have a way to easily just pull this wig off in case I want to put her in another one. I mentioned earlier that a lot of you are wondering just how much glue you should use. Well, you can see in Jade's case that a little glue does go a long way. I would suggest not putting a ton of glue down because you can always add more glue, but if you put too much glue, it can end up being a huge mess. So start with a little, add a little more if you need to. The point is, if you start with less glue, you can always add more if you need to. Now that we know what in the world we're doing, it's time for the fun part. Let's get to this wig try on. We're going to kick off this wig try on with the #1 color that people suggested that I use for this doll's hair, and that is black. Now, I can completely see why people suggested this because her eyes pop against this jet black. She looks so gorgeous in this one, and honestly, I could put this one on her, but I feel like I would have to darken up her eyebrows, and this is just not exactly how I envisioned this doll. The next wig that I'm going to try on her is an American Girl wig. So this one is Marie Grace's, and the reason I wanted to show you this one is not only because it's cute, but you can also see how different the American Girl wigs are to the custom doll wigs. They don't have that nice stretch cap, it's just kind of bigger in general, so you're going to need to use glue if you choose to do an American Girl wig for the most part. Overall though, I do think that this hair color looks so pretty on this doll, especially with her eyebrows. Next, we're going to try on these fiery red curls, and boy are they fiery. This wig is so bright and beautiful, and she looks stunning in it. I'm not surprised. I really love the way that the almost orangey red looks with her bright blue eyes. They complement each other well, but of course this is not the wig that I'm going to keep her in. Next up is this pale blonde braided bun style wig. This one gives me total Daenerys Targaryen vibes if you've ever seen Game of Thrones, but I think it's super cute. It's fun that it's already styled, and of course she looks absolutely gorgeous in it. I really love this shade of blonde, and I especially love it on this doll. And if she had the lightest skin tone, she would look just like Daenerys, which is pretty cool. This next wig is a beautiful ashy blonde color, and I actually had initially purchased this one for Aspen. She's my lightest skin Jess Mold doll that has the blue eyes and brown hair. So this didn't work out for Aspen, so it's kind of in my wig collection, but I think this looks really good on Truly Me 119. This doll looks great in every hair color that we put her in so far, but blonde really works for her. The next wig we're trying on is a bleach blonde, and I'm actually not a fan of bleach blonde hair. I think that this wig is a great representation of it, but I just am not a huge fan. I will say though, this doll looks so much like a Barbie in this wig, so how fun is that? The next wig I wanted to try on her was this short blonde bob with bangs. So this is a little bit of a different shade of blonde than the other ones, and it's so fun to see her not only in bangs but also with short hair. This is a super cute one. I really love it. I don't know why, but she's almost kind of looking a little Taylor Swifty to me in this one. I saved my favorite for last. This is the wig that I picked out for this doll and her character. I think that this one is absolutely perfect for her. The brows match almost exactly. Actually, somebody on Instagram suggested a caramel or a strawberry blonde for her. And ever since I saw that comment, I was like, yes, that sounds perfect. So I went ahead and picked out this wig from Zazu Dolls, and I am absolutely in love with this color. It doesn't come across on camera as gorgeous as it is in person, but I just cannot get over this beautiful combination. And I just went back and looked at my Instagram. It was Forever Young Dolls and Kay Collects Things. So thank you guys for the suggestion on this hair color. So that marks the end of this wig try on, but what do you guys think? Which wig did she look the best in? Do you like her with the black hair, brown hair, red, blonde? Do you like the wig that I chose? Let me know in the comments below, and you can also let me know any name suggestions that you have for her. I am the literal worst at naming dolls, so I always appreciate it when people give me ideas. I will say I do like nature-inspired names, so definitely feel free to prioritize those types of suggestions. But anyways, with that being said, here she is all completed, and I am so in love with how she turned out. I hope this video is helpful to you, and be sure to stick around on my channel if you want to see me further customize her, because I do plan on at the very least giving her some freckles. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I had so much fun making it, and I really hope that it gave you the confidence to try wig swapping your doll. If you do still have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, or message me on Instagram at ag_Evelyn Rose. My direct messages are always open, and I reply to all of my comments on here, so I'm definitely here for you if you need me. Until next time, be sure to take care of yourselves, and we'll chat again soon. Bye guys!